I want you to pause for just a second. Literally just block out the noise of your day for a moment and really reflect on the question we have right here in front of us. If you were to strip away your job title, your daily to-do lists, your bank account, what's the actual ultimate end goal of all your daily striving? We spend so much of our lives just operating on autopilot that we rarely stop to actually audit the fundamental trajectory of our lives. So keep this question echoing in the back of your mind as we move forward.
Welcome to today's Explainer. Now, usually, we're breaking down massive research papers or complex data sets, right? But today, we're doing something a bit different. We are going on a deep dive into a single, world-altering sentence. And I'm going to ask you to look at this sentence through a very specific lens today, the lens of risk, volatility, and long-term equity. I'll be drawing on principles from my 30 years of experience in actuarial science to really deconstruct this quote, pull apart its mechanisms, and extract what is honestly a complete philosophy for living.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our complete source material for today's Explainer. Read it with me. Try not to become a man of success, but rather try to become a man of value. Actually, I want to say it one more time, just a little slower, so the sheer weight of it really sinks in. Try not to become a man of success, but rather try to become a man of value. Notice immediately the stark contrast established here. We're presented with two distinct concepts, success and value, and they are definitely not positioned as partners. They're positioned in direct opposition to one another. The author is essentially demanding that we make a choice between the two.
Section 1. The Central Dilemma, a Tale of Two Pursuits. Let's see what that looks like. This short text forces a massive fork in the road. It presents this inherent conflict between two entirely different ways of living and striving. But before we analyze those specific paths, notice the deliberate, absolutely crucial repetition of the word try. It says try not to become, and then rather try to become. This implies an active, ongoing daily effort. In risk management, you don't just assess risk once and call it a day. It's a continuous, daily practice of auditing your behavior and mitigating bad habits. The text here acknowledges human nature. You're gonna stumble. But the true instruction, and honestly the nobility, lies in that relentless trying. Section 2. Unpacking Success, the Negative Command.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that from the time we're little kids, society literally programs us to chase success. Better grades, better job titles, bigger paychecks, right? Yet the text specifically instructs us not to become this. Why? Because a man of success is defined entirely by outward pursuits. Think about it. Success relies on someone else giving you a promotion or society validating your worth based on what you accumulate. If we look at this like an actuary, success is a highly volatile, extremely high-risk asset. It's completely dependent on external market forces that you have zero control over. An obsession with outward success hollows you out, making your self-worth dangerously unstable because it's tied to metrics that are totally outside your jurisdiction.
So, let's move to Section 3, Defining True Value, the Intrinsic Alternative.
Here, the tone of the sentence shifts beautifully away from a warning, and it offers a remedy, becoming a person of value. In sharp contrast to success, value implies an intrinsic state of inherent worth. A person of value is defined not by what they extract from the world, but by what they contribute to it. Things like character, integrity, kindness. You don't need an audience to be honest, and you certainly don't need a promotion to be kind. In terms of risk analysis, value is a perfectly stable foundational asset. Because you control the variables entirely, your downside risk is literally zero. It is a guaranteed, compounding long-term yield of character.
And this brilliantly illustrates the friction in this quote. On the left side, we have an active restraint, divesting from the volatile pursuit of mere success. We have to consciously hit the brakes on our ego's desire for applause. Then, on the right side, an active pursuit, investing in inner substance. You are simultaneously shedding the superficial while compounding the essential. It's an incredibly delicate balancing act that requires immense self-awareness. You are pulling capital away from high-risk external validation and pouring it directly into stable internal growth.
Section 4. The Conscious Shift, from the outward to the inward. Let's break down how we actually do this.
You see, this quote isn't just passive poetry. It's literally an instruction manual for rewiring how you evaluate your days. We've distilled it into a framework here. Step 1. Consciously stop the pursuit of mere success. Identify when you're acting purely for status and halt that bad investment. Step 2. Pivot your intentions. Ask yourself if a decision is being driven by your external ego or your internal integrity. And Step 3. Actively cultivate intrinsic value. Reallocate your daily energy into building skills and character traits that actually enrich the world around you. You are, quite literally, redirecting your life force from a volatile asset to a rock-solid stable one.
So the crucial point is the sentence itself. Let's look at it one more time. Try not to become a man of success, but rather try to become a man of value. After applying this analytical, risk-based lens to these words, this sentence should land with entirely new philosophical depth for you. It's no longer just a nice quote to put on a coffee mug. It's a profound blueprint for a life well lived. True fulfillment isn't found in the volatile things we conquer externally, but in those unshakable, stable assets we cultivate within ourselves.
Which leads me to a final audit for you, the viewer. In your daily actions, from the emails you're about to write, to the conversations you have, to the work you produce, are you merely chasing success or are you truly building value? It's a calculation you have to make every single morning. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive today. Take this source material, apply it to your day, and I'll catch you on the next explainer.